Welcome to the Triple Takeover Toycast, a fortnightly podcast all about Transformers and occasionally other toy lines as well. We're here for episode 116, which is incredible. And tonight is all about our favourite or memorable, is all about memorable comic book panels from over the years.
Not favourite. Very important to say.
No, but you see how I redid it so that so you don't have to.
Because
so now I've got to redo it again.
Well, no, it's staying now. It's in. It's part of the gag.
No, it's not in though. You see, I redid it.
This is part of the gag. This is the whole thing. But this took me ages because I had these ideas for some great panels, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to pick that one." I was all set, and then it suddenly occurred to me, "It's like I can't pick that because Sixo hasn't read that issue of More Than Meets the Eye yet."
Well, there is that.
Like,
no spoilers.
Oh no
spoilers! All the ones I wanted to use, and then it was that thing. Once it's in your head, it's like suddenly every single panel I could think of that I wanted to use, I'm like, that one's like, "Oh, I ain't got there yet." Why can't I think of others? So you're about to get spoiled in the most epic way. Sorry, Sixo.
I'm sorry to be such a giant pain in the ass. You know, like that's
very ruin it for
you. Yeah, it's nice of you, Liam. That is nice of you. Can you imagine if you just spoil all the best bits that have come with More Than Meets the Eye?
No. That's what I'm about to do. So
that's this episode exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't actually told me any of this because all of this is in the bit of the intro that's going to need to be cut now, of course, because we redid it.
Look, you screwed up. We all do it. Hang on, wait there. What?
I don't mind screwing up.
He's J-Swags from jswags.com.
Sure. I don't mind screwing up, but not in the first 30 seconds of the episode. That's all.
You always screw up in the first 30 seconds of it. People have used to it.
All right.
What about the first 31? 31. First 31.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think that's not entirely fair. He has had a very sizable chunk of his mouth operated on as well.
I have. Yes, I had a wisdom tooth removed.
Maybe that's why he made a mistake. Because they took all of his wisdom out.
You've lost the wisdom.
All of your wisdom.
That's gone.
The wisdom's gone. You know,
the wisdom of the ages is no more. Well, I mean, and Liam, I think, is just stalling for time because, as we all know, he was still choosing his panels.
Yes,
not 2 minutes ago.
He was.
His comic book panels.
No comment.
Yeah.
No, but I had one from last week because we talked about it. But the other one, like I say, I went through this whole complicated loop of like different panels. I thought about every era of comics. And then I almost settled on something and thought, no. And then spent all this time thinking about panels that we couldn't pick because I realised you haven't got there.
Well, for those that are not up on our Patreon, we are doing a read-through of More Than Meets the Eye, IDW's More Than Meets the Eye, on our Patreon as part of one of our mini-series for our Gold Box Classics tiers. And it's been great fun. But yes, we are only up to about issue
34.
Yeah.
34, I think we're on now. So we're working through it, but
no lie, that's absolutely the tooth.
Oh,
very good. Very good.
Very toothful.
It's going to be a lot of this, isn't it? Yeah, God. I'm still recovering. Jason's not feeling very well either. Do you know what I mean?
I got the flu. I'm sitting here wrapped in an electric blanket with a Lemsip and other accoutrements to help me breathe. But it's the third day of having the flu, and I'm surviving. But
your dedication,
no spoilers yet.
Appreciated.
I do have a quite an exciting gift coming my way that I'm aware of for my 50th from my brother that he picked up in Japan. But I'm not going to mention what it is yet. But
I was thinking about it because you
Yeah,
told me what it was.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, so Liam and Sixo have seen this.
Okay.
And there will be a future reveal, should we say, once I have it in hand, which will be I'll be picking it up in a week. So possibly by the time this is going live, our Patreons and followers will be able to see it as well. But let's just say it's one of those pretty rare pickups in the life of a collector, isn't it?
It's top tier Japanese G1.
Yeah. We've had some special things bought during the time of this podcast between all four of us. There have been some moments like Sixo every 2 weeks is picking up some ginormous obscure thing or finding obscure Micromasters in another set that he bought.
In another awesome toy, exactly.
But this is right up there, Jason. When I saw, it's particularly the condition it's in of all things, like knowing people we know have had this toy and have had problems with these toys, and then just knowing how hard it is to get these toys for anyone, decent for a decent price, and seeing what you got, and it's like, no, that's That is the universe saying, "You enjoy your 50th
Yeah.
birthday."
I know, it was
As well.
pretty
It's incredible.
serendipitous. I know, yeah, amazing.
Incredible.
So,
It'll be Sixo soon, so you know.
It's funny that you say that, Liam, because actually, for tonight's desk bot, accompanying me on the desk here is the boy, the old boy himself,
Oh, look
wide
at that.
boy,
Oh, Grandis.
beautiful, Grandis.
little bit of Grandis. There he is.
So minty
That
that
didn't
is.
come for free.
Wide
Blooming
boy.
heck.
It did not come for free, but it
Grandis
did
does
come
not
with some free Micromasters. So that was.
That's the one. That's where
Yeah.
the story I was.
You can
Yeah.
understand
Very
why
subtly
Grandis
referencing.
turns up with Micromasters. He's such a big chunky boy, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
he
very
was
hench.
filled with Micromasters. It was like a bloody.
Do you not know
Kinder
the
egg.
story, Jason?
I do, yeah. I remember
the
he got
specific Micromaster that was in there.
the really, really, really valuable one. that
Well,
was
you're
like-
going to get to know that Micromaster quite soon, Jason. Let's put it that way. you know,
Yes,
so-
of course. There we
Yeah.
go. This is the thing. Maybe I'll wait so that people can guess because see the workout. Our patrons are going to work it out now, aren't they? They're going to be like, "Is
Yeah.
that? Oh my goodness!" That's what,
Yeah. I'm
Um,
sure we're sounding like a right bunch of now, though, just sat here giggling over our
You
highly
are.
illustrious
You are.
Yeah.
Japanese G1
I know
purchases,
exactly.
honestly.
Do you know, it's
Yeah.
funny though with my collection in that when I did the interview when Maz was doing it for TF Source on the blog,
Hmm.
and I always stated that I didn't collect Japanese G1. I was always after the US stuff and the UK stuff, or
Yeah,
European stuff
yeah.
to a certain extent. But I never kind of went near the Japanese stuff because I knew that was like a whole other thing and
It's a
tracking
thing.
that stuff down. But now, thanks to you lot, thanks guys, it's all happened and it's slowly happening. And then, but it is that moment I think where if you see something, it's right, it's the right price, all that kind of stuff. Then
Yeah, it's a right time, right place, right budget, right
Yeah.
condition. It's when all the factors align. It's wonderful, but it's not. You've equally, I think, got to be so patient with that stuff because I think if you're like on a specific item, like I was after a Go shooter, I saw a Go shooter. I know Paul from the Space Bridge had one at my first TF Nation, which I think was 2017. And he had one for I can't remember how much it was. I think it was maybe up to like £250-300 or something like that, which actually by today's money is crazy cheap. But it was just slightly yellowed on the one side, like enough for me to be like, And I remember our mate Fancy Dan saying to me, "Yeah, but if you're going to drop Go Shooter money, you want it to be perfect, don't you?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, you do. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely right." And it's only this year now, some 8 years later, that I finally got one.
Really?
But that's
yeah.
the nature of that stuff. Honestly,
Totally.
it's not a particularly rare toy. It pops up all the time, but yellowed, overpriced, whatever else. So it's the long game. That's the thing.
Yeah,
And you may
it is.
never complete all of it if that's something that you want to do, but it's the hunt. I think that's the
It
exciting
is.
bit.
That's it. And it's about being realistic as well, and knowing what you have and what you might want, and then also what you need. There's different questions
Yeah.
there, isn't it? So
It very
sounds
much
like a
so.
whole other podcast episode, doesn't it? When you think about it.
It does. But actually, the funny thing is, I mean, before we get onto tonight's topic and everything, which we should explain because there's a whole topic, whole storyline there, we should actually say that talking about Japanese G1, if you are buying a lot of Japanese G1, or indeed G1, or indeed Transformers in general, you might need some sort of database, would you say, Jason? Is that a handy thing to have?
A database that can not only database for you, but can
Right.
also value for you
Whoa.
as well. I know.
Well, that
What a
sounds
coincidence.
valuable.
Kind of sounds like we might have a new sponsor. Is that?
Well, it's funny that you sort of mentioned that because actually,
This
yes,
is seamless,
we do
guys.
have.
This is seamless, dude. It's
Yeah,
like,
right, this is-
I'm sat here wondering what was going on. I thought these guys are having a stroke. What's happening here? And it's like, why are they suddenly going like, oh, I have turned into a robot.
Do you need to value your
Natural.
Transformers? This
Have
is
you been in a
professional
recent car
podcasting,
accident?
Exactly.
We're ready to believe you. It's like Ghostbusters, isn't it?
That's what the vibe I was going for. Exactly.
Do you believe in things that go bump in the night?
Sandra had an accident at work that was not her fault. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? Right, but yeah, we do have a new sponsor, fair to say, and it's a company called Val Art.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Very
Not
different.
Ghostbusters, Liam.
Very different.
Val Art, who, Jason, you know quite a bit about these guys because you've worked a little bit with them in the past, haven't you? But they're an online database resource, aren't they?
Yeah, it's all about cataloging. So the whole thing is like it's valart.co.uk is their site. You can go and have a little nosy at it as well. But yeah, I'm actually mentoring the founder that set up this company. So I've known him for over a year actually. But he's a Lego collector, and he basically had the same kind of issue. You know what I'm like talking about my database all the time and how accurate that is, Liam. You know it's accurate.
Did he just do one to fix just for you? It's like, oh my god,
well, basically,
database.
He was chatting to him. But he's like, Elliot, who's the founder, is a Lego collector himself, and he was chatting to other collectors, and he suddenly realized, hang on, how do we actually catalog all this kind of stuff? So, and even chatting to our patrons, we've got Duggertron, he does Google Sheet, I think JP's got an Excel sheet and spreadsheets and all this kind of stuff, right? I have my very famous Tapforms app that I use, but that's actually now not getting updated anymore. So it's kind of moot. So then I was like, this is kind of perfect. This combines two things that I love, a tech thing plus the database thing that I love, but it has a load of other stuff built into it as well. So as I mentioned, you can do like valuing, which is kind of fun at the moment. It's early days. I think we'll chat about that in future episodes. We can have a little play with it. But Valar is there just for all of us lots to kind of throw stuff up there, get it in, get some images associated with it, and see what you're collecting, basically. And don't do what I did every time I go to TFN and buy the same toy 3 times, which I have done.
Well, there is that, exactly.
Times.
I mean, I've been using it a bit, and I think it's really good. And I'm looking forward to cataloguing a lot more of my collection, actually, because, like you say, I am at the stage where I'm like, do I have this? Do you know what I mean? Like, certainly some of the Beast Wars stuff I had. I was thinking the other day, I was like, okay, I nearly walked into that because I nearly said, do I have a big horn? And then I realised how it sounded in my head.
Flexo has taken it to another level here.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, look at my big horn.
Well, actually, as it turns out, I don't have a big horn. So
take that out. Very interesting.
I
TMI, dude. TMI.
I need to get hold of a big horn, and I don't have one, so I need to catalog that. Right, exactly.
Do you know what?
I need a value for one.
This is a good point, right? Though, because I do remember talking to Elliot at Valar about this, which is like having, or maybe it was JP, one of our patrons, talked about having like a kind of
to catalog it like a fossil. For the fossil record.
No, but like showcasing. No offense. We're over that age, Liam. That's what it is. Having like a showcase of people's collections and stuff like that, so you could see it, because we do. This is a TFW thing, isn't it? That's what people do, things like that. But it goes without saying, Sixo, that you're a very tricky person to buy birthday gifts for, right?
Yeah,
because you're the type of person that'd be like, I want that, and you'll go and get it, and you'll get it to the level that you want. So then now, having the ability to go in, check someone's database. There we go.
You can spy on each other's databases. I mean, I think that is part of the fun as well.
It's kind of cool seeing what people have.
Yeah. We used to have a little collaborative spreadsheet thing that our mate Wayne set up, and there was a whole bunch of us. And It was like, lists of G1 and whatever else, and people were marking in which bits they had and all of that. That was great for birthdays, actually. But also, it was just kind of fun to be like, oh, you've got that, and that whole thing.
Is cool.
So
I like that.
There's a lot of that, and Valar does a lot of this kind of stuff. It does like insurance and things as well, which is really good. And the valuations thing, I think, is, as you said, it's early days, but it has a lot of legs. That I think.
Yeah.
Future,
so spoilers: if you're going to upload, is it a Black Shadow? Was it your Black Shadow that you uploaded?
Black Shadow. Yeah.
And it was the same for what was it for me? It was my. I can't remember what it was that I uploaded now, but it will go for the kind of the mainstream version of something quite often.
Yes,
currently at the moment.
But
that's why it's like if you pile over there, if you do decide to sign up, pop in Triple Takeover as the code when you sign up to let them know that we sent you their way, and we'll just keep chatting about these guys. I think going forward.
Yeah,
it's handy for me because. You guys know, because I've been talking about that, I keep moving stuff and putting up new shelves, and I've become quite aware of how much stuff I have.
Yeah.
When you take it out and suddenly you've got to move it to somewhere out of the way while you put new shelves in. And like it's kind of horrifying and mortifying. And then there was a sudden moment of my girlfriend putting out, she's like, do you need this insured for contents purposes?
Yeah.
And like, can you imagine me putting down like Batman tat? and then I suddenly became aware that, oh no, other people do that. That seems to be a thing. So this has come along at the right time for me.
It is a very normal thing.
It's that funny thing, isn't it? Like, I think we're all quite similar in that well, not Jason, but me and you, Sixo. Like, I imagine I know everything I own. It's one of those things where, like, if you asked me to list it, I would struggle. But I know enough when I see something, I know I haven't got that, and I have got that. Whereas Jason doesn't know if it's an all about a Decepticon. So this is great for him. So
yeah, honestly, it's so I was. If you walked into the robot room and asked me where something was on the shelves, I'd be able to point at it, guaranteed. I would just know where it is in the room. But as soon as I'm out at like a toy event or I'm at TFN or whatever, at a convention, I think the haze comes down, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I've got this. I'll just get it anyway. You know, it's that chaos. You know,
it is that weird thing because I've been thinking about it. It's like I know exactly what I've got, like enough when I'm buying other stuff. But if everything melted or disappeared in a fire, anything like that, then I had to write it down. I could write a lot of it, but there'd be stuff where I'd be like, trying to,
things.
Until I see a picture of it, I'd be like, no, I did have that. But that's you kind of. So something like being able to catalog it is.
I think it's it's one of those, isn't it, where the process of cataloging is probably quite daunting and a little bit fun as well. But like once it's done, it's got so many.
You're a spreadsheet guy, aren't you? You love a good spreadsheet.
I'm a spreadsheet guy.
Old Clippy, the paperclip guy.
That's the thing, though, right? With this, you can just take a photo and upload it to Valar, and it will scan it and tell you, do its best guess of what it is as well, which is kind of fun in itself. And I've been doing that with lots of different stuff. I've been uploading Lego. I've been uploading pictures of Transformers. I've been uploading collectible toys. And, there's so many collectibles out there now. It's a whole thing, isn't it? You got Funko Pops, you got Transformers, you've got all the tat that Liam has,
Fat tat.
Yeah.
Exactly. Starcom, all of it. But
that's it.
I also like that their theming, it's all very purple. It makes me think of Prince. So, like a Prince Valiant. That was hard. Even in my head, that sounded way better. Like Prince Valiant, but Prince.
Valiant. I see where you're going with that.
Valiant.
You can workshop this. We can workshop this stuff. Yeah, we've got.
Do you remember Prince Valiant, the sort of vintage comic?
Yeah.
And there was a cartoon.
We got it. It wasn't a lack of getting it that there was no laughter.
Prince Valiant, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it though? Yeah,
and that's where the bumper comes in.
I was watching Batman for the 5 bajillionth time today, and there's a bit where when the Joker is first in that is like in the building, and his girlfriend walks in and she faints, and he just turns around and goes his own sort of just laughing. I was like, God, I do that all the bloody time, just laugh at myself. I see it now. I see it
like Batman.
Yeah. We see it too.
We do.
Anyway, I mean that is our new sponsor. That is Valar. And as Jason says, moving on, as Jason says, you should totally go and check them out. So they are at valar.co.uk. And if you do use the code Triple Takeover when you're checking out, if you want to, sign up and whatever else, they've got a couple of tiers of sort of subscription and what have you. They've got like a standard or a pro thing. And it's literally like $4.99 or $9.99 a month. And there's loads of good stuff on there. And it is still quite early days for them. But if you use the code Triple Takeover, then that just lets them know that we've sent you over. Let's say.
Yeah.
So it's a
get
good
your
way
Prince
to do
Valiant
things.
collections up there.
Still going with it.
Get your any collections up there.
I think it's great. Prince Valiant. Like, do not get it. Like Prince Valiant.
We do get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can email them with it. That's fine. See how far you get.
Yeah. Let's just let them hear it when this episode comes out, and they'll be in touch.
Yes, they'll let us know what they think. I'm sure.
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice toys. There's a reference. There we go.
Anyway, tonight is about comic book panels, and it's memorable comic book panels, not your favourite comic book panels, although maybe they go hand in hand, I don't know. But it is all about memorable ones. And the idea for this actually came from, you've already mentioned him once, Jason, but Duggertron, who's not
one and only.
Yeah. Not only well known for his impressive Japanese G1 collection, but did come to us with this idea as well. And actually, I think he resent this recently. This was his, we do Patreon commissions on our Patreon, patreon.com/Triple Takeover. One of the perks for some of the top tiers is that people get to commission a exclusive mini-sode that we then record and we release on our Patreon. And we've done like 110 of these now or something like that. And, people get to pick a topic. And Duggertron, I must admit, submitted it ages ago. And it was this memorable comic book panels idea. I think we said this recently about another commission, but it was one that we kept looking at going, oh, that's really good. We should do that. And then we just did something else every time. And I think it's not because we didn't want to tackle it, but it's just because we wanted to get it right. And he resent a message recently. He was talking about his commissions, and he said, mine was most memorable comic book panels. This was my OG one, but I think it may have got lost when I accidentally unsubbed for a nanosecond. Or Sixo just thinks I'm a cock. And
It's definitely the latter one sounds.
Two things can be true.
Well, I was going to say it's both, isn't it?
Yeah,
Bless him. You know, and,
hasn't he had like 17 commissions already?
He has had quite a few.
He's done quite well. You know,
he's done well. He's done all right.
Do you think we should just put a little like note on each episode art for the minisodes that just says sponsored by Duggertron at this rate?
Just a picture of his face.
Yeah.
Commissioned by, not sponsored by. Very different.
Doing the YouTube face. He's doing his like.
Just him carrying all of his bags around TFN.
Right.
That's what it should be.
It's like when you go to the ice hockey and it's like, you know, someone gets sent to the sin bin and they're like, the sin bin, sponsored by NG11 taxis, you know, get your way out of here. It's like that, like Minisode, sponsored by Duggertron.
I like
He owns every
Duggertron.
Transformer ever.
Yeah. His name is also one that when we had Gary Chalk on, obviously he read out all the patron names and everything. And one of the names that I always remember him reading was Duggertron's, just because he did it in this way of like, it's like in the Optimus Primal voice, and him just going, Duggertron. And it just really, I don't know why.
It was brilliant.
Just really stuck in my mind. It was so funny.
So good.
Yeah. So, yeah, the brief is memorable comic book panels, basically, from Transformers comics.
Do you know the thing with this, and the reason that often we've gone, oh, no, let's wait till later, is, I don't know for you guys, but it's because immediately, as soon as I get that as like a commission, a load of ideas spring to mind.
Oh, yeah.
And then I kind of get paralysis about like, oh, I want to choose that one and that one and that one.
Absolutely. Well, we said, didn't we, that we would limit the number of choices because the reality is that there are so many. I mean, we've had 40 years of amazing Transformers comics. So the idea that we can choose every panel that would be considered worthwhile in a discussion like this is totally flawed. So, of course, as you're listening to this, there are going to be panels that we don't talk about or that we don't mention, and that's by design, rest assured, you know, because it's not about being definitive. It's just about picking a few that spring to mind and that we're like, hey, remember this. And we did say that maybe we'll come back and do this again at some point and do another round because it could be good fun. So, so we limited it. We said 2 each, didn't we, for starters?
We did indeed.
Yeah. So I've got 8.
I've definitely got 2 now, so...
Right.
Well, I've got
as
3.
5 minutes ago, yeah.
I've got 3, but 2 that are chosen for specifically tonight.
Okay.
You know.
I've got 8 that I consider essential.
So the remaining parts of this episode will just be you on your own going through everything.
Well, at least we've just got like part 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. There we go. Good work.
Exactly, yeah.
Just me talking to myself about these panels. So who wants to kick us off then? The eternal question on this podcast. Have you got your Wheel of Fortune thing?
You've got 8 bloody panels.
He's not doing 8 though. He's not allowed to. Shall I do? Yeah, let's do spin the wheel. Should we do spin the wheel again?
Do spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel, make the deal.
With the wheel of names, right? I'm putting in the wheel of our... Oh, it saved our names from last time.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, right. Here we go. Right. Click to spin. And it is...
Come on, Liam.
Jason.
Oh,
It's not...
No.
Oh, it then went to Sixo.
Should I do the first 3 of mine now and then do the other 5 later, or what's?
Just do one.
All right, just one,
and then one after.
Man. This is tough now because actually, as much as I genuinely do have 8, so it's
just close your eyes and poke the screen.
Well, okay, I know what the first one is going to be. I think I even told you what the first one is going to be. Let's be fair, which is this. And Purely said, I'm going to throw it up. We've got a little thread going. And we will share these images with our patrons as well. But this is my first one. So it's from the 1986 G1, the Transformers Marvel UK annual. And it's the story called
Grand Dreams.
Victory. And it's the story called Victory. And the art is by Jeff Senior, of course, because it's Jeff Senior. And it's the opening. Well, there's 2 panels from this. And I don't feel bad about submitting 2 panels from this particular story because they're both memorable in different ways. But this first one is the sort of opening splash page where you've got Grimlock. It's in a dream sequence, as we find out, but you don't know that at this point. Grimlock slicing Megatron in half from top to toe with a sword, basically with his sword, and the victory emblazoned across the bottoms, the sort of header image, and this wonderful sort of pinkish sound effect just going shakoosh.
It's a great sound effect,
I
isn't
love.
it?
Yeah, and Megatron going Niag, which is just perfect. Honestly, everything about it is just too wonderful. So
Gold chest Megatron as well.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, gold chest Megatron, indeed. Yeah, the old MP5G almost. But the colouring in this one is weird, I've got to tell you. There's a bit of weird Starscream colouring going on in this one as well. But this, to me, just rocked my world as a kid, this panel.
So I never had this annual. It's one of the... I didn't really get the annuals.
Yeah.
I don't know if I missed them or whatever. I can't remember. But what I always remember about seeing this was that Grimlock had killed, or assumed that he'd killed, Megatron, that he'd bested him within this. So I actually don't know this story, I don't think, either.
Well, it's set at a point, because there was the UK story Dinobot Hunt, at the end of which the Dinobots are all offline and kind of comatose, and then they come back for a later UK story, and this is set in between those two storylines when they're all dreaming, basically.
Yeah, okay, it's a dream, right?
It's a dream. And so they all have different dream sequences, the Dinobots, and they're all pretty horrific. And I'll show you another one in a minute. But what's funny about that, or this storyline, I think, is that I remember reading it being like, oh, Megatron is dead now. Like that was just in my head as a kid. And it's funny now, because often I talk with my son, we're watching stuff or reading stuff. He's like, what's happening now? Do you know what I mean? Particularly if there's like, it's anything like a dream sequence, or it's time travel, or it's something quite non-linear. He often he'll get me to kind of explain what's going on and things like this. And so I think, actually reading this as a kid, I think I just didn't really know what the deal was, but I was just
totally.
just so taken in by the action and everything else. And this panel is just amazing.
It is. It's stunning. So the art. Who is the artist on this? I can't.
Jeff Senior. Yeah, Senior.
Is it Jeff? Is it? All right.
It's old Jeff. Yeah, Jeff.
So it is. As you said, Liam, it's gold-chested Megatron. He's got his proper helmet hair going on here as well, which I always loved.
Old Buckethead.
Yeah, Buckethead, exactly. But it's like there was always this kind of bit, wasn't there, at this point in the UK stuff where things were just getting more visceral as well.
Yeah, this was the real start of that, actually, I think. This was kind of the point where we'd had a lot of like robot on robot carnage by this point, for sure. But I think this was the point when it started to get kind of like, oh, okay, it's real. Yeah. Like people are getting their heads cut off and like innards, and it was all the lead up from here, and it just kept getting steadily more brutal on the way to Time Wars, really.
Yeah, that's what I remember, because it was that lead up to Time Wars, wasn't it? And that because the thing about these annuals as well, that they were quite nice. The early ones I remember were quite glossy in the finish
really
of them as well, so they were pretty visceral in the way they looked. But definitely. Even like, it's kind of what I loved about Skybound, and they brought back these big kind of cartoon-styled lettering that's going on with that shakoosh.
Oh, shakoosh.
It's so good, isn't it? It's like the classic Senior, and it's all just very much animated and alive.
Oh, it's just beautiful.
It's really lovely.
He has a way of just bringing action to life like nothing else. And it's funny looking at this tonight when I was sort of putting my panels and everything together. Obviously, for the cover art for this episode, we've put up, and people will have seen this by now, I assume, we've put up a very memorable panel from IDW's More Than Meets the Eye issue 19, which is, spoiler alert, Ambulon getting sliced in half by Farmer. And I've got that panel here too. This is not my way of being like, and
he's sneaking in another one.
Sneaking in another one. Look at what he's doing. But it occurred to me that it's sort of eerily, weirdly similar. It's the same motion.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah.
And
yes, totally.
This absolutely was one. Yeah, very much so. This was probably the first image I thought of when I was like, memorable comic panels. This image of Farmer, which, for me is a relatively recent read, was one where I was like, because it was a page turner as well. Just blew me away.
Noob.
Yeah, right, exactly. That is me. But I think it's the same reaction of both panels, honestly, of just like, what?
This is great, because I've really enjoyed the More Than Meets the Eye issues we do, because one of the best things is seeing it through your eyes again, and seeing it for the first time. And when we're talking about it, you're excited about it because you've just seen it, and it's amazing. Like, it's one of those things that you can't put a price on. Like, when you remember how you felt and
That's
you get
nice.
to see somebody else experience it. It's almost like you get to enjoy it vicariously through them again.
Yeah.
This I remember from when I was a kid, because I used to get the annuals every Christmas. Remember, like that's when they sort of came out, wasn't it?
Of course, yeah.
And I remember my conflicting feelings on them, because at the time, obviously, what would I have been? Younger than you, so it would have been three,
He's
4.
getting in everything tonight, isn't he?
But
It's greatest hits.
yeah.
But at this point, like obviously, I used to watch the cartoon every day on the children's channel because it was repeated multiple times, and I'd seen the film. I think if it was 86.
Yeah.
And so I remember this was that awkward phase where it didn't feel like the same thing. But I was still getting quite into it. It was nice to see these characters and stuff. But I remember it just always. But I loved it. This image, like this story, all of this stuff like that. It was like whoa. And then discovering Grimlock is left-handed. That's the thing I remember. So the second you posted it, the first thought in my head was, I remember as a kid staring at it for ages, trying to work out what his hands were doing. I know his right hand is holding his left hand, but when I remember as a kid, but being dead little, I was looking at it going, is it all morphed into like something, when you're like looking at it, trying to work out what's going on. And now you look at it and you're like, no, I know exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he's also left-handed. And being a right-handed person, it's on a tangent. It's like, I don't know if you do this, when we do toy photography, I always put the guns and weapons in the right hand.
Yeah, we've mentioned before that. I think.
Whereas I'm the curveball, because I told you this before, because my brother's left-handed, the Autobots were left-handed, which is what I did. So it's funny, those little things that you pick up on, and that this is though a Jeff Senior thing, right? Where he will quite often play with the handedness of characters and stuff like that, just for what works. Like you're saying in photography, is the temptation is, well, not temptation, just a natural thing is you put it in the right hand, but then you're kind of trying to compose the picture to make it work properly. And actually it's just like, well, if I swap the hand and the dominant hand, and that'll make this easier, and it becomes more impactful in a way as well. And he does that a lot in his imagery.
I mean, I think there's a lot here where actually, and Senior does do this well, but like if you look at Grimlock's arm, there's realistically probably not enough space from his wrist to allow for his shoulder to be under the sort of wing panel there that you see the back of. The physics of it don't make too much sense, but actually it's almost like don't stop and look at it too long. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, for me, when people critique Transformers the movie, the 86 movie, because they freeze frame it and they go, oh, look, this looks gash. And it's like, but you're not. It was released at a time when you're not meant to freeze frame it. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? It's fluid animation, and in motion it looks wicked. Yeah. But just don't freeze frame it. And
this is done in service of the shot and the pose. That's for the dynamics. That's what it's there for. Like, you have to move the arms in ways they can't move, and put things, but because that's the magic of art and being able to draw. Same with the cartoons, and all these sort of things. The magic of fiction. You can do things that you can't do in the real world. It'd be quite boring if everyone was really restricted to.
Yeah, completely agree.
It has to follow physics.
Transformers would barely be able to move anywhere. They'd be so stiff.
Yeah,
because they are made of metal. Like their legs shouldn't bend like they can. Like that whole fight in the 86 movie. When you watch Optimus Prime fight Megatron, it's very much like watching a martial arts movie, and you're like, but they are composed of massive chunks of metal, which they wouldn't move past each other like that if it was real.
So true.
Like, but that shot. That whole sequence is iconic. Like this is amazing because there's a human element to it, isn't it? And the dynamism's added, and it makes it sing. Yeah,
exactly. And it's the fantasy of it as well, which takes you into it. It's like, cracking first image, Sixo.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I did just want to quickly throw this in as part of the same, but
he's doing three.
No, I'm not. It's not three. It's not three. This is all one. This is all
is
number
it really?
one. Yeah, this is choice one.
Before we move on, I just want to make one little minor critique that small child Liam always had about this photo, which is also hand related. It's Grimlock's doesn't have any dinosaur claws. If you look at his little rods on the things,
he doesn't. It's true.
The claws. As a kid, because I used to stare at this, these art and these books and the comics just for hours, being like amazed and stuff. So you pick up on really little things that aren't like an issue, but you go, he had no hands. Dinosaur hands.
He's got no dinosaur claws. Very
no
true.
Dinosaur claws. But so just as a sort of additional element to this, of course, I couldn't not mention this other panel from the same victory story from that annual, which...
Of course.
What do you mean, this other panel, and you post 2 whole pages of comics?
No, it's not 2 pages. It's because this is the context.
5 panels.
It's the context.
Also, why does Gold Megatron with the walkie-talkie somehow look like you? I don't know what this is. When I'm looking at
that
this
is
picture at the
kind of
side, there's
scheme I would
something
go
about
for.
it. Where, I'm sure you can.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's really funny.
It's quite Emirates Zarin in its way.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
It's Sixo
Oh, God,
to the
I
walkie-talkie.
never noticed her skull head to the right of
Right.
Megatron there until
Yeah.
right now as well. I was
That's
too
the thing.
traumatized.
It's the 3 panels in sequence. So the reason I posted 2 pages is because this is obviously Joy Meadows, or what we think is Joy Meadows, and you need the context of the hug and everything beforehand, because in Sludge's dream, he sees this woman, this human woman that he's basically seemingly in love with, that she gives him this little cuddle and says, "Oh, Sludge, welcome back," and he's like smiling. And then you flip the page and it's just her pulling her skin off her head to reveal this, like, words cannot explain how terrifying this was to me as a child. It ruined me. It absolutely gave me nightmares for months, this did. She's literally pulling her flesh off her face, and she is literally, because the previous panel says welcome back, and then she just screams, "To your death," like this, and starts shooting him with lasers from her eyes. And
spiky teeth. It's always the spiky teeth that looks like, "Whoa!" So just pure horror.
Exactly. You know how people used to complain about the woman that got sucked into the computer in Superman? Do you know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Superman 3.
This was worse than this to me. This was 10 times worse than that. And it stayed with me for so long. So I had to kind of mention it, because to me it was the combo of these 2 images makes this one particular annual story just live in the memory, even now.
The horror of this. Do you know what it is? It reminds me of, do you remember the TV show V, where they were lizard people underneath the pretty girls? It had a bit of that about it, where they would peel their skin off, and then so there's a little bit lizardy. The face is so odd because it's mechanical but organic, and it's the fact that there's no pupil in anything in the eye, and everything about this, the whole setup, like you've said as well, of the fact that it's all this affection, it's so traumatic. It's just in a comic for kids, people.
Well, this is it, and I think as a kid, I was like, what is this? What is happening? Who is she? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what is this
Who
thing?
is she? Who is she?
It just really disturbed me. Honestly, I was just like, and honestly, I'm sure it just gave me nightmares. What can I say? So yeah, there you go. That's my choice. That's my one panel.
Your one choice there.
My one panel so far. One of 8.
One choice. I see.
Yeah. How was
well,
that,
they're good. They're good choices, and they count as
it's a good
choices.
choice. It's a good choice.
But you know what? I'm going to go next because I stick to the rules. Okay, is that all right, Liam? If I go next?
Oh, okay. I mean, sure.
Just give you more time to find your panel.
He's still deciding.
Furiously just running around rooms trying to get stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's just Googling.
You guys, you might guess as well what I'm going to choose here, because we did talk about this recently, because we were talking about this comic run recently as well.
Were we?
But it is this one, which is from UK Transformers comic 114, and the wanted Galvatron Dead or Alive, and it is when Bumblebee gets destroyed brutally by Deathhead. And the same reasoning, the trauma. So I loved Bumblebee. I loved Bumblebee as a character. He was my first G1 toy. And this whole, like, who's this Deathhead guy turns up, and Bumblebee being Bumblebee is dead brave. And it's over those 2 panels where he gets shot. Well, 3 panels, I suppose. He gets shot, and then the scream begins in the next panel. And it is a horrible, like, bright red, huge font of just, and you can see this black stuff emanating from his mouth.
The kind of Jack Kirby stuff,
yeah, exactly. But this whole, this like real dark energon, as we'd call it now, I guess, like emanating out of him. And then it's a combination of like implosion and then an explosion with a Cthulhu, so big font. It's such a brutal death, such a horrible death. Yeah. And then Deathhead just turns his back on him, and it's just like, gonna like it here, yes. And so on one hand, this destroyed one of my favorite characters that I had in the Transformers universe in a really traumatic way. But on the other hand, I then also found a new character that I have loved ever since, which is Death's Head.
Which I think was kind of the point, wasn't it?
It defines him brilliantly, doesn't it? How to intro a character and make him, it's just like, all right, this guy's ruthless. He does not care at all. And as death sequences go, this is up there as
it's really good. I think it always stuck with me as well, but it was, when we talked about it with James Roberts in episode 113 that we did not so long ago, it was really, he nailed it for me in pointing out that it's what you said tonight as well. It's that additional panel of Bumblebee screaming that makes it worse, because it's almost like you're just used to seeing robots get shot and then they blow up, or almost as like one cause and effect immediate thing that happens. But it's the in-between panel of knowing that he got shot, he then screamed for his life for a period of time and then blew up, and it somehow makes it so much worse.
That he's feeling pain, which it's a good point, isn't it? Because it is that idea that then we're putting these robots that we don't consider to have feelings and pain and all this kind of stuff, and it's taking it to another human, like a human level as part of it as well.
We've got experience of this though, because this is very Starscream death in Transformers the movie, where he gets shot and it starts turns grey and all that sort of stuff goes off. So I think seeing this as kids, that suddenly that experience pops into your mind a little bit, and so you feel that kind of slow death before he explodes. I remember this as a kid, and I still have the G.I. Joe version of this, and it's kind of crazy that there are two origins of Bumblebee exploding viciously, but caused by different people in different ways across two different continents and an ocean of 6,000 miles or whatever it is.
So true.
I know, it's funny that, because it's like, who did it better? There's like there was a Reddit I went on earlier, and it's like, who did it better? But the US one is actually it did, because the US one's is a little bit tamer actually. He's got a kind of hold in his midriff, and that's it. And he sort
of shatters a bit like gold plastic in the G.I. Joe one. It's really weird, but this I think is always. I mean, maybe it's personal preference or whatever, but this has always been my favorite one for sure.
It's the protracted time that it goes over those, and they're. Remember, this is a UK comic, right? So we've got the kind of larger size format comic. So these were big panels that they'd put into this as well.
Yeah.
And it was that same. You just saw so much detail, and you just weren't expecting it in a kid's comic. And I'm trying to remember how old I was at this point. I was maybe 10?
45.
I think I've always been 45. This is what I feel like,
But it's as Sixo said earlier about the last panel from the annual, and it's like when they're starting to lean into it, starting to skew a little bit older. And I think it's the same here, isn't it? It's aging up with the audience. They're quite aware that their audience has been growing since 1984, and they're a few years older and maturing, and so their tastes will mature in terms of reading, and that's what it does here. So it's funny because at first glance, when you look at it now, you go, "Oh, that doesn't fit in with a kid's book." But if you go back in time, remember how the book went, you're like, it fits in perfectly with the way it was gradually changing.
Absolutely,
Applying. It's like, to us, it always felt like a seamless thing. It's like, as kids, you're like, that's how the book always was. Until you go back and sort of reread it, and you're like, oh no, it starts here, and then obviously it scales up with its audience. And it's one of the reasons it was so able to maintain its reader base for so long compared to any other franchise, I think, because most of them didn't do that, and like it outlasted the toy line here, or the toy line's popularity here. And
it really did.
Even in the US, didn't it? Because the toy line was dead there, and here it was like still coming out, but it wasn't popular in the way the comic was.
No, it's so true. So which panel are you submitting, Jason? Because you submitted 6 there.
But the panel I'm submitting is the one of Bumblebee screaming. All the stuff emanating.
Just that one.
That one
the
panel.
Torturous death.
I wouldn't want you to do more than you're supposed to.
I'm still not sure which panel you submitted, Sixo, but...
I submitted just the one. It was within the context. It was one choice, you see, but it was all...
he's doing it again. These rules that he's doing,
Not at all.
Can I just point out that you've both gone for hideous character deaths, violence, and
that's going to continue, I think. So,
yeah. But it's Halloween, so coming up. So,
that's true. That's true.
Oh, have you got Halloween? Well, Liam, bring it on then. Show us your wares.
Have you gone for the G.I. Joe being eaten?
Oh my God! Why did you mention it? Back in my Do you know how much work it takes me to get that out of
I
my
know,
brain?
that's why I
Along
bring
with
it
that,
up.
that from RoboCop 2's back in.
That's why I bring it up.
That's it now. He's done. That's it. Game
Megatron
over.
lunching on a G.I. Joe, yeah. With salad.
I know.
So, safe
Right.
space.
Safe space. This is
You're
safe
alive,
space.
You're okay.
Humana.
Terrifying Megatron teeth can't hurt you. They're not real.
Think about your database.
That's my next choice.
While we grow our weep ninny bun. Is it my go now then?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So I told you mine last time, but mine is from it's G1, but it's a later era G1. So I'm going with what I think is still an iconic panel for what it represents for this character, being the first time we saw the character in fiction in this form.
I knew it. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be. That is cool. Yeah.
And this is issue 6 of the G1 Transformers ongoing from Dreamwave, but from volume 2 of G1. So this is the final issue, possibly drawn by Pat Lee, but who knows? But this is Ultra Magnus appearing for the first time in his white Optimus Prime body.
Yeah.
So basically it's naked Ultra Magnus who is streaking, holding a massive flaming cannon here.
It's Minimus Ambus.
It is. Yeah,
It
exactly.
is. Oh yeah, that's fair. But so this, obviously Pat Lee's art aside and all of the connotations that come along with that. But at the time, like this is one of those panels. It's one of the very first times I remember like reading a Transformers comic and genuinely going like, oh, it's that, because this is that era where everything they do is a reference to old stuff because we hadn't seen it for so long. This was something new that was a reference, if you know what I mean. Like most of it was like, it's that other guy from in the cartoon form. It's that other guy. This was like the first time they validated that this was Ultra Magnus character, you know, because we had it as a toy, but then the cartoon and every other era of fiction was always like, it's just a truck, you know, it's just a trader turns into a robot. That's all it is. And here it was like, that toy, here it is. Because the way they did these comics, they didn't have the TF Wiki and this whole like knowledge base that we have now where everything is known, everything's set in stone. So a lot of the stuff they was just still picking up and able to write their own new stuff, you know what I mean? And they were still being like, there isn't really that definitive G1 kind of, you know, it has to be this way as there is now, you know, like there's a very established set of rules to the canon. Whereas here there was still, there's the Marvel comic way, there's the toys, and there's the cartoons. There are these 3 different things that are all equally as important. Whereas we've reached a point now where it's basically the cartoon is the main one. The others are all, everything else is like an alternate timeline, you know, like an alternate version, which is a shame. But at this point, it wasn't like that. It was like all 3 were equally valid, and this wasn't, you know, going off in its own direction. And it just, I remember like talking to people and seeing on the internet just the way it came alive, seeing this image, because it's that guy.
Yeah.
You know, you had the truck, not monkey malarkey, but you also had the arguments for ages. Ultra Magnus, oh no, he's all in one. Oh no, he's a white prime that has. And this was a big thing for ages. It's not anymore, but it was for a long time.
Yeah, you're so right.
And then this art turned up. And I remember at the time, like, obviously, there's a lot of people aren't a fan of this art. But for me, like, just the dynamic way this was drawn is, again, this was the first time we were seeing Transformers really drawn in this anime cartoon style. So it was still really new and exciting every time you saw something you hadn't seen before done this way. Whereas now we've seen so many things. It's like a 10 a penny, isn't it? But here it was like, oh my gosh. And it was just fantastic. This reveal comes on the back of the previous issue where Shockwave shoots and kills, in inverted commas, Ultra Magnus. But the comic ends. Actually, I followed Jason's advice and took a photo. But it ends with Magnus starting to tear his armor off, and it sets in motion this chain of events with Magnus, where through the next issue, which is this issue we're talking about, 6, he appears briefly now and then, and it's showing like there'll be a page of him stumbling through the city, ripping off his armor and doing things, but gradually it's piece by piece by piece, and it's just a really well done thing. So yeah, so this is the final page of the previous issue where Magnus is dead. As you can see in the top, he's even drawn almost like he's going grey. The light in his eyes out, then he starts ripping off stuff, but you start seeing, you know, the face, the blue bit of the face underneath the faceplate,
the red eye and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Peeking out.
You can see the white arm and bits of the armor being dropped on the floor. And I just think it's a fantastic way to reveal it, because it's not just like it's turned up anyway. You're seeing it organically through the issues, and you're waiting for it. And it's just Yeah, and at the time, like seeing this was just such a spectacular thing.
Well, that's the thing, because he throws down on the panel that you've chosen where he reveals himself as kind of the white Ultra Magnus. He throws his helmet down as he walks into the room, which is in the panel there as well. And the thing that I love about this is it's the blue faceplate one as well, which is Peak Prime, which is the Prime I loved as a kid.
That's the proper one. But this whole story as well, like the way what this is the culmination of is, I don't know if you guys have read these books or read them recently, but
yeah, I have.
It is like the cartoon where Shockwave is the last guardian of Cybertron and he's left for millions of years. In these comics, he's not stupid like he is in the cartoon, where for some idiotic reason he takes 4 million years to pick up the phone, and Megatron just happens to be on the other end of the line, and it's like, yep, no time has passed, just 4 million years, but everything's still the same, and then they carry on like nothing's happened. But in the Dreamwave comics, Shockwave was awakened first on the planet, and then he took control of the planet. He brought all the Transformers back to life, but he ended the war, and he brought the Autobots and Decepticons together. He's created this society. He's still quite a nefarious character. He's not there. He's not doing this as a good guy, and he's ruling it. And he's a little bit of a despot. And there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. But it's just, it makes Shockwave, it tilts him more towards what he was like in the Marvel comics, where he was important, a threat, and he had a real level of power to him, and he was clever. Versus the cartoon, where he was just a lackey. And these books had tend to skew toward the cartoon before that. In the first series, that's how they found their footing of. It felt a bit like the cartoon was back. And in the second set, it starts to lean more into the comics, like the comics did. Because then they start bringing in Furman and people like that in later on. And they obviously are building it. And I just think this is a fantastic introduction to a character love, just in a different way that validates the previous, the toy in a way.
No, I completely
never
agree.
been done really before or since.
No,
other than
and I think
Minimus Hammers, but that's different again.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement for this whole White Prime Ultra Magnus thing at the time, because I think it was just after this that we got, maybe the year after this, that we got MP2 Ultra Magnus as well. And I remember being around at someone's house, or someone was around at my house or something at the time, and they saw that Magnus. I think someone else had it that I knew, and there was some conversation, and it was someone that was like, not a Transformers fan, but they knew it was, because like 20 years since Transformers was not even 20 years since it was a thing, 20 years since it began by that point, but like, it was still in people's memories from childhood and stuff, and we were all quite young. And someone saw it, and I remember them being like, "Oh, cool! Like that's the, it's from the toy, and it's like the thing." And oh yeah, and it was kind of one of those ideas that had never really, as you said, Liam, it had just been this sort of curio of the original toy, the Magnus toy, which so many people had, but it was never explored in any way as another toy or in a comic or in a cartoon or anything. So this all felt quite revelatory for sure.
Yeah, and it's quite powerful because obviously in this whole scenario that's going on with Shockwave, Magnus is one of the people that believes in him the most. He's been twisted to work for him, so he even goes and arrests Optimus and the other robots, and it's just quite a powerful way to end that. But we also got a toy of this, right? You remember Revoltech? So I've still got the Optimus.
That's right, yeah.
But they redid their Optimus as Magnus. It's the only one I don't have, and I need to remedy that at some point. It's just a really cool, interesting battle, but it's a real moment in time as well. That's like, just even today, it's still quite an important moment for me, and I think it is very, very memorable panel.
Nice, really good choice. Yeah, nice to get a bit of Dreamwave rep in there as well. As we said, we no idea who drew these panels, but
it was Pat. It was.
Was it though?
Yeah.
Was it?
I don't think he'd quite started that whole thing yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fight less here. Sixo's next choice then.
Okay. Are we moving on? So many to choose from.
Oh my
this
goodness.
is really hard.
Yeah. Well, you've already used up 5.
I'm also trying to follow my advice from previous issues and maybe not do all G1 as well. Do you know what I mean? Because it's tempting. It's difficult because, to be honest, so many of the like really memorable ones from my childhood, for me, obviously, because it's that sort of like first time reading and that first sort of like seeing things now. There is still that visceral nature to things like Ambulon and stuff like that, but it's the stuff from childhood that really cuts deep, isn't it?
It's emotional, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah. And I think on that basis, I'm going to have to go back to the Well of Marvel Marvel G1 just because. Well, I'll post the image and you'll know exactly why I posted it as soon as I put it. This is just an image that will live with me to the day I die. And it's this.
Yeah. That's dark stuff.
This was on my short list of stuff earlier today. I was thinking, but it's so horrifying that I can't.
It's awful.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So for Marvel UK fans, of course, this was Marvel 323, Marvel UK 323, I should say, issue 323. For US fans, it was issue 76, and it was the story Still Life, which is after the previous epic of On the Edge of Extinction, where the combined might of the Autobots and Decepticons have all been recalled to Cybertron by Primus to fight Unicron, who has arrived early in this timeline, the timeline having deviated in the present towards the Transformers the movie, which is now an alternate timeline. And ultimately, the battle was won by Optimus Prime in his Power Master form, sacrificing himself with the Matrix and blowing Unicron up. Much as it happened in the movie, but in this one, Prime is still inside Unicron. And, nobody has located Optimus in the next issue until these panels, which is where we find that actually they've recovered his body and he was inside Unicron. He did get blown up, but part of the Matrix has sort of shielded him, if you like, and has kept him alive. And he's alive for 3 panels, basically, which is where we suddenly find out that not only is he alive, but he can still sort of speak. And it's just his upper body and his exploded face, basically. And it's the face especially, which is just the worst thing I think I've ever seen in my life. It's just awful.
I always saw this as melted, rather it's like his parts have just kind of melted away. Because who's the artist for this now?
This is Wildman. It
is Wildman,
Andrew Wildman, yeah.
Which is perfect for this. The organic kind of feel for this that works with the metallic nature of them. It's just it's so visceral, isn't it? And all the wires and all the pulls of whatever it is around his head.
It's stuff like the little circular speaker bits in his earpieces, with the wires coming out and things like that. And of course, the fact that his face has been blown wide open to the point where he's got no mouth plate, and he's got this sort of weird vocoder voice box mouth thing underneath there that was referenced as well in Masterpiece, funnily enough, on that MP1. That had, if you pulled the mask off, obviously it had the little thing underneath. Yeah, have you never seen it?
I did not know that. Oh my goodness, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. I'm going to find
I've had that toy
now.
Forever, and I didn't know that you could...
Absolutely. It's got a little mouth underneath the mouth plate. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've just found it. Here you go. And it supposedly is a reference, or so I think that's what everybody thinks, is a reference to this very panel. Here you go.
Wow, that's very awesome.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Yeah. Got to take the mouth plate off. It kind of unclips.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
Little nod. There you go, Jason. It's a nod.
Because there's nothing in the manual about that, is there?
No.
Is that just people the fandom found it? Wow.
Yeah. It's like Masterpiece Wheeljack, has a little mouth underneath his mouth plate as well.
What is all this stuff that I don't know about these toys? Oh,
Jason, come on, man.
Oh my
this
goodness.
Is fandom lore, mate.
I'm just going to start taking all the Masterpiece mouth plates off now to see what's underneath.
Those are the only 2 that I think are known. I think I included this in one of our TFN panels, I'm sure. There's the Masterpiece Wheeljet one. You have to unscrew the front of his head.
That's amazing.
And he's got a little mustache under there.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's incredible, isn't it? That's what Wheeljet looks like without the faceplate.
Superb. Wow, that Prime one, amazing.
It's incredible. And this panel, it just lived in my brain, I think. It just did something to me that just was so wrong. And it's just the idea that he's being kept alive by the Matrix, that he should have died, that he is beyond death by this point, and that he can barely speak. It's horrible.
The panel that I love in this sequence, actually, is the one that's the kind of bird's eye view looking down on all the figures. And it's a mixture of Autobots and Decepticons. And Bludgeon is so distinctive in that image as well. And it's such a great kind of ending to the comic arc as well, in this level of sacrifice that Prime does, and that everyone's the Decepticons and Autobots have come together at this point as well, and there's that kind of moment of Yeah, when he's trying to get his last, it's a classic kind of Yoda moment, isn't it? Where he's like, "Get Grimlock, tell him, nah." It's awful. Awful.
It sort of disturbs me a bit to think that Optimus Prime. All right, he comes back. We know he comes back.
Yeah,
Of course
spoiler. He always comes back. That guy.
Yeah. But we didn't know that he would at this point, and it sort of disturbs me a bit to think that he died in this way with Decepticons surrounding him as well. Do you know what I mean? That they were all onlooking, and kind of disdainful of him, and it's just something about the whole situation of it is deeply horrible, and
but they're not. They don't revel in it though, do they? That was the thing for me, because at that point they'd survived this attack of Unicron and they'd won because of Prime. So it was like, because that's the thing. It's like that's what I liked about that image, because Bludgeon's sword it's not raised or anything. It's kind of lowered. It all seems more respectful for admittedly Prowl's on his knees and next to him and stuff like that. But there's no. I don't see menace there in that respect. It's like this moment of just like, we've survived, and this is why. In my mind, when I was kind of looking at the image more than anything else.
Yeah, you might well be right. That's interesting, actually.
It's just massively impactful, isn't it? It's that melted corpse, because it is a corpse.
It is
a living corpse.
I mean, let's be fair. The thing that really kind of gets you about this one is just the horror of it. Honestly, it's just it's absolutely grim beyond belief.
But remind me, because obviously he's Power Master Prime at this point. But am I right that his Power Master wasn't in him, and that's how he comes back? Is that right?
Yes, because High Q had jumped out. He had released High Q just before flying up to Unicron. And it's the last Autobot that arises from the center of Cybertron and reformats High Q as Action Master Optimus
Master Prime. Yeah, totally. So, that's right. Yeah. That's great.
It was a little bit contrived, maybe, but kind of cool.
Kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool as well.
It's all good, and he's got to come back somehow, and lo and behold, he does. But
it's a very Prime ending. Let's put it that way.
I love all of this, honestly. So that had to be my choice.
Yeah, it's a goodie. It's a goodie.
Succinct, can I say?
It was very succinct, and just one panel. Well, 3 panels, but choosing the melted
one main panel. The melty face is the
so
one.
I've got 2 here, and I'm gonna jump to my third choice and save the other one for another episode in the future, I think.
Ooh.
So, because I don't want to do just G1 UK all the time. It is G1. It is G1. Okay. Don't start getting on to me, because it's not G1.
Curveball.
But
don't want to do G1, but I'm gonna.
But it is more up to date now from a comic point of view, and it is the bottom left of this comic page.
Okay, so actually, I had this as one of my choices. Funnily enough, I nearly this exact panel. I nearly put it in.
So it is Optimus Prime cradling the deer that he's accidentally just stepped on from Skybound issue 1 from memory. Oh, 2, sorry. 2. Yeah. And what we've talked about this on our minisode when we were chatting about Skybound, but I'm going to reiterate some of that as well. What I love about this is that it defines Prime perfectly within a series of, well, just that one panel. This hulking, like you were saying earlier, Liam, about the way that Dreamwave was built, but in this he's like massive. His head kind of looks comically small on top of his head, on top of his body there, but he just looks huge, and he's like delicately holding this animal that's the complete polar opposite to him as well. And his words of I'm so sorry. It's some of the best writing and visuals that I've seen in a comic since going back to kind of Furman and Senior days back in that had the impact as well. And that's why I chose it, because Transformers for me is more than just Civil War, Megatron, Optimus, and all that kind of stuff. It is the nuance that it brings, and the fact that there's this, like you're saying, Liam, about this humanity that we're kind of getting into and kind of feeding into and feeling and seeing it from aliens' eyes, as they did in the beginning of Skybound as well.
Yeah, and the way this is done, it's a masterclass in how to do this with a character, because you never look at him and think he's not Optimus Prime, which on the surface doesn't make much sense, but when you look at a character doing this, behaving like this, you're like, Optimus Prime is a giant war machine, essentially. The thing people like about him is he's like John Wayne leaping around fighting Decepticons, but here you get a real tender moment of him behaving like he's horrified and he's letting his guard down completely, and it's really open, but it never doesn't feel like him. It doesn't feel like a different character, or that sometimes you see people online and they'll be like, oh, they've emasculated this guy, which is absolute nonsense. This is when characters show feelings like this because but you look at it and just go, no, that's exactly how I would picture Optimus Prime reacting. And the way I read this is like I hear his voice in the cartoon and the way he would react in the cartoon. It is Optimus Prime, and the way he does it, and it fits so tonally perfect with who Prime is and how he's been portrayed. It's wonderful, an absolutely wonderful sequence.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. This really felt like a breath of fresh air when this debuted. I mean, this is 2 years old now, this panel, funnily enough.
Yeah, wow.
It's incredible.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah, but this, I think what was great about this as well is that we'd had the first issue of Skybound, and it was very action-packed. It didn't leave, it sort of lurched you right into the action. It was like, bots and cons are waking up, literally panel by panel. It's all go. A character dies. It's fist fights, firefights, suplexes. Whatever else. It's all kicking off. You really don't get a second to breathe in the whole thing, and it leaves you at this sort of really breathless place at the end of the issue. And it's only really the start of issue 2 where it suddenly packs down again and sort of gives you this minute to breathe. And I always appreciated issue 2 for this of Skybound, because it's Optimus walking out and just going, oh, what beauty, and kind of looking outside and whatever else. And it's so nice. And as you said, it's just quintessential Optimus Prime. And then this moment with the deer, this was the moment that I was like, this book's going to be something good.
Yeah.
Yes, and you just know it.
It's a rare case of the actual mantra of freedom is the right of all sentient beings. And it shows how they value life, because whenever we see this before, it's always humans. It's always they are fighting to protect people. They are always, worried about people. It's never animals. Whereas you think these robots are millions of years old. They've just come to this planet. They look at the life here, and for them, it's all new. There's nothing different between humans and animals or anything, because they haven't been here long enough for them to differentiate that, beyond seeing like humans are, the dominant life form. But that doesn't make the others any less in their eyes, because they haven't had that time like we have, where we grow up and that's just how we view the world, isn't it? And for them, and it's just amazing to see that him actually do that to a deer, an animal, rather than it being, oh, it's another person. This really shows that they do value all life, and that's important to them.
Yeah. Do you know what was lovely about this as well is that Skybound taking on this huge brand of Transformers and giving this a page as well to just, and we did talk to Daniel about this and about kind of the fights behind the scenes that he was having to make sure that he could do these moments.
They wanted to get rid of the deer scene, didn't they? God.
And that was and I know we talked about this at length, and everyone that's not heard it, sign up to the Patreon and go and listen to our chats about this, because it is really interesting where this book goes, and we still loved it, but it was different at the end compared to the beginning. And this is the other reason I wanted to bring it up, is that single panel is for the Skybound comic and for Daniel's kind of run on it. That's what I'll remember. That's why for me it won awards, right? That it brought in what you're talking about, Liam, and what you're talking about, Sixo, that made us kind of go, yeah, this is my Prime. This is how I would expect him, and that reverence, as much as the kind of slightly clumsy, like, this is a different world, to what they're used to. Where they've, it's just great, but done through visuals and very limited use of language and stuff like that.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. A fantastic choice. This for me is the defining moment, more than the how do you feel about going on the offensive and all of that. This is the defining moment of Skybound so far.
If I had to take one thing from this books, it's this. It's like of everything they've done, this is, I think, the pinnacle of just the way the storytelling, the character comes into focus in a way it doesn't often in comics, and it's a real glimpse into Prime, and it's amazing. Really, so well done, like genuinely spectacular.
Yeah, agreed. Great choice.
Good stuff. Cool.
Yeah, Liam. Back to you.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought it was yours. Oh, you've done yours.
Yeah, I can go again.
I know.
I can do this all day.
He's got hundreds.
Okay, so I suppose mine is the last one now, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is. You got to end on a high.
There were so many. Like, if you could see how many I've like racked up in the last couple of hours since we started, where I've gone to. But then this one just was like, I was like, this one's so symbolic. And if we didn't do this one, I kind of feel like we have to at some point in the future. So I kind of want to get it out of the way now because it's so good, it's so important and impactful, and it's like iconic beyond iconic, and it's more than meets the eye. Like, this is my favorite comic ever.
Good, yeah, cool.
There had to be something from that comic here, and so I think you have to go with the most memorable moment from this book.
Scratch.
From memory, I think this is more than meets the eye 15 Under the Cold Blue Stars, and it's the moment where Overlord crushes poor Pipes' hopes, dreams, and spark. And it's everything about this panel. The way it's as much the build up to it, and
It's
knowing
the
what
build-up.
comes, and then knowing how important this would go on to be in the future, like how iconic. But even just taken as a panel on its own, it's like the contrast of Pipes and stuff. But then you just look at the Overlord and how he's all in shadow. You look at his face, like the blackness of his face with the red eyes. Like, you can't even see his mouth, so you can't really see the expression he's got. And it's so disdainful in the way he's looking down. Like, and you know, the thing with Overlord, we see time and again how much glee he takes in killing people and being the omega wanker of the universe. But here, like, this one moment he kills someone, and it is ironically like the most iconic thing he does in all of Transformers, really, isn't it? This one kill, this one moment. But you look at his expression, you can't see it, and but you can tell it's so uncaring. It's like a child looking at an ant or something, you know, like a really mean child. And he doesn't care, and how it just conveys straight away. It's like he's so insignificant to him, and he's just going to crush him for the sake of it. Doesn't have to. There's no reason. But he's not even getting fun out of it, which is the Overlord thing. Like, the way he goes, you know, there's no end game to it. It's just an inconvenience along in the moment, and you know, it's like he's stamping out a cigarette. It's that kind of,
it really is.
Just like, but everything about the way he's posed, it's just,
it's perfect.
Do you know, it's the polar opposite of what I've just put, isn't it? You know, Prime and his reaction, and this is like, you know, Overlord's reaction to that, which he gets bumped into by a tiny Autobot. So he's just like, there's just no thought, is there? There's complete ambivalence. I'm just going to crush you because you're a waste of space. Yeah.
It's like when you talk about RDW Overlord, people straight away go on about the lips, you know? He's so expressive. And in this one moment, ironic, the moment he's so remembered for is you can't see his facial expression. But you can tell how unfeeling and uncaring it is. It's like, you know, it's like we've talked about in other books where, like, Prime and Megatron, their vision is so skewed on one another, and on Starscream, Soundwave, you know, Ultra Magnus, the high end top tier characters, they don't really look down, and it comes across here in the way just Overlord just so matter-of-factly and uncaringly just extinguishes a life. But this is one he doesn't care about. It's not like moments later when he embarks on his murder spree of the Autobots where he's laughing and like reveling in what he's doing because he's like, ha 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 ha, and everything, and he's just wisecracking all the way through it. Here it's just like, this guy just ran into my foot, it's in my way. What? Carry on.
No thought about it.
This is one of the things, if somebody asked Overlord in the book later how he felt about killing Pipes, he would probably have no recollection of it.
No.
Like who?
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so inconsequential, and it's so cold and dark, but the way it's drawn. Is this Milne? I think this is Milne, isn't it?
This is Milne, yeah.
Yeah. And this is just, I think, some of Milne's peak, because like so much of this panel is hidden by other panels around it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The more you look at it, like you see just like the darkness over his whole body, like the blue, just the navy blue he has is toned down. It's all in shadow. And then there's the bit on his leg where it's bright. And you start looking at the details on his foot and you know it's about to crush Pipes. And it's just a really frightening panel that's in a book that's filled with so many menacing images and so much like dark stuff. It's like there's just something about this, how uncaring and cold it is. It's just very matter of fact and almost unimportant. And it's crazy, but it just looks amazing.
Do you know what is really nice about that artwork? Well, not nice, but the fact that they put the reader in the position of Pipes with looking, you know, that worm's eye view to Overlord, and that you are slightly offset so we know we're not going to get crushed. But that little speech bubble of sorry, and it's just heartbreaking, isn't it?
No,
It's
it's
just
really,
like
it's
the kind of it's a bit like it's just horrible. It's like this bully. It's the worst of stuff.
There's a lot about the framing of this sequence that works as well. I think it's the fact that you've already seen some of the carnage to come. And because you get that wonderful splash page earlier of Overlord just annihilating half the crew of the Lost Light, and then it cuts back to 30 minutes earlier, and you get this little sequence with Pipes talking to Blaster and Whirl, and Whirl is making fun out of him. That's the last thing, the last interaction he has is Whirl saying, "Oh, that guy is such a," and then it cuts off. Obviously,
it's classic James, though, isn't it?
Away.
It is classic James in a way where it's like, get rid of this guy that nobody's really bothered about that much. He's appeared here and there, but people aren't that bothered about him. And then suddenly, I'm going to make you really, really bothered about him. Now he's gone. It's like, oh, James, no.
I know, it's heartbreaking.
But there's a whole thing, like, if you look at the face, I think it's just the red eyes. And there's a constant thing in media where they're like, oh, you have to show the face because how are they going to emote? Like, they did a Halo TV series and they're like, Master Chief's helmet has to come off. It never comes off in the games. Like, but how can he emote? And it's a whole war thing. But you look at this and you're like, you can't see Everlord's expression. It's all black, but just the red eyes. It's so demonic. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have to emote here, but he doesn't have to visually emote for you to understand the emotions and the way it's conveyed. And just this piece of art, the way he stood looking down and how monstrous he looks to Pipes. You get both of that in this one image, and where you can't see either of their expressions. But you know what they are. There's kind of like unfeeling and then horror, and it's
absolutely
it's unseen. And then there's no background as well. It's all yellowed out, which is just
the kind of sunburst effect even in itself is interesting.
That's almost it. It's quite a subtext to it when you look at it. It's almost like Pipes' death is coming in, just kind of like sunny, heavenly like thing behind it.
It's going to pass.
Yeah.
Actually, that's interesting because it does go from that sunny look to then the paler and into red.
Yeah.
Which is
so deliberately done.
Oh yeah,
the red is very deliberate.
Tick. Yeah. But I mean, it's the way it changes across the 4 panels there. Like the color, you very see, like Jason says, in the second part of that, it goes pale, then it goes white or grey and white, and then red. So it's like the last stamp as well. It's like the first stamp, and then the last one. It is just like someone putting out a cigarette.
The one stamp was not enough. It's got to be the 2. I do find the sound effect of scrutch rather disturbing as well.
Yeah,
something really grim about that. That just immediately what's happening with that sound effect. It's just like.
And these books across the More Than Meets the Eye, Lost Light records and stuff, they have such a reputation for real like graphic violence. Like obviously. Ambulon, all of the stuff Farmer does, there's the DJD, so many Discus Deaths, and there's just something about this one, the sort of least graphic of them all in some respects.
Yeah.
But the terror and menace attached to it is somehow above all of them, because there's a lack of a cartooniness to it, because sometimes that comes across with it. When Overlord and the DJD are murdering people, it's almost with so over the top, it's almost there's like a comic element to it, but here it's just mean. Yeah. It's just really mean.
Exactly. This is bullying. This is a bully. It's stepping nasty. On someone smaller than him, and it's just nasty, inconsiderate, evil. All the worsts of things, isn't it? It's just like no consideration for life. Yeah. It's what a dark panel to finish on there.
I know. Thanks
Halloween, my friend.
Yeah.
Good choice, though. It's a good choice.
Annual Halloween special. So
it's funny that initially you were like, "Oh, I see you're all picking panels that are just like really graphic and grim and characters dying and whatever else," and then here this is what you end on. So hey ho. This is a good Halloween themed episode, actually, isn't it? So
it really is. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, there you go, Duggertron. Have we fulfilled the brief? You have to tell us when next time you speak to us on the old Discord. What you think. But 6. Just 6, by the way. That was where we got to, wasn't it? The round tally of 6 panels. And all pretty graphic in their own way, or certainly memorable. Let's put it that way. I think that was the kind of key word. But yeah, I think I could absolutely come back and do more of these. I've still got some other ones saved.
Same, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's
definitely.
it's a good one. But it's also a shout out to patrons and everyone on socials as well to give us some of their choices. I'd be interested.
I would be, I would
be good to see, wouldn't it? See what else other people would remember.
I feel like we've chosen some of the like real big hitters tonight. I think we probably all came at this with the avenue of like getting certain panels in because they're sort of so iconic or crucial to the sort of fandom consciousness that you kind of need to mention them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas it would be interesting to hear about some lesser known panels.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
Stuff like G.I. Joe's getting eaten by Megatron, that kind of that level.
Oh, again.
It's not lesser known.
Oh, no.
That level of sort of lesser known.
Stop this.
With the teeth. And
I know it's Halloween, but this is too far.
It's too much.
The little
I don't
lettuce.
like that kind of horror. I'm more of a kind of Scooby-Doo spooky level.
Right.
The Lost Boys, I can go that far. That's my...
Too much Halloween.
Yeah, too much Halloween. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, do hit us up and let us know, and maybe we can come back and do another round of this at some point.
God, I can't get out of my head now. I'm going to have a real nightmare before Christmas.
Sorry, it was completely innocent, Liam. Sorry. But yeah, no, do hit us up and let us know. And there is more of this, of course, on our Patreon as well. I mean, you can go up there and sign up. There are 5 glorious tiers of stuff. We've got everything from early access to episodes such as this, where you can come and just join the party 1 week early. Very often, this will be up a week early. And, most episodes are. Or you can get on our Discord as well, and there's plenty of popping stuff on there. Or there's 2 tiers of exclusive content as well. So there's the mini-sodes that we've already talked about, and the mini-series that we've mentioned as well, where you can get all of that IDW chat, Skybound chat, and more. So it's pretty awesome stuff. That's at patreon.com/Triple Takeover. And there's some other patron tiers, patron perks, isn't there, Jace?
There's
lots of Patreon tiers.
There's lots of tiers. Yeah, come and join them.
Tiers.
Yeah, go for it. Go join them.
Sadness.
Oh, there's no sad tears. No, that's not true. It's a happy place to be.
Tears of joy.
But the best tiers are for everyone, because everyone gets a shout out, and we have quite the list of shout outs tonight. So you're going to have to bear with me on this one, everyone. I'm going to try my best with these names.
Not at all a backlog. Not
at all.
Not at all.
It might not have been the first quarter of this year that we last did this.
I didn't even realise we were still doing this. That's how long it's been. Like when I saw it earlier, I was like, I thought that was gone.
No. We've always meant to do patron shout outs. I think it's just been a little run of like, in our
defense, we started doing questions as well.
Yes,
so we were doing the questions, and that was giving a shout out to people. But the other thing there is, though, that obviously whether you're at the lower tier or the higher tier, then we'd love to give you a shout out as well. So that is the purpose of this. So we're going to start with Munkeet Louis. We've got Riddick McCoy. We've got Richard Delafield, Bisto Yeti, which is just the best ever, Bisto Yeti. Ben Robinson, Jasper Van Den Brink, who's very active on our Patreon.
He is, yeah. These are all apologetic ramps, aren't they?
They are, indeed. Yeah. So that's our apologetic ramps.
I do like Bisto Yeti as a...
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It really is.
He has a YouTube, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to watch it back in the day. I'm sure it's got a YouTube.
Bisto Yeti is brilliant. And then next lot is we've got GoBox Classics. We've got Ileana Megan Chapa. We've got Jordan Jennings, Lee Taylor, Jay, which is Peach Orange on our Discord, Minicon Madness, George the Robot Sauropod. Bringing the names there, George.
That's a great name.
That's a great name.
Sounds
Demo
like a
Man.
Pixar film.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. The Robot Sauropod is just, that should be a URL. That's the best ever. Demo Man 0121. Martin, nice and simple. Seamus Lindblom. Roy Lowry. Carlos Rico. Adrian. Robotimus Toys.
Rico!
They're all GoBox Classics. Thanks so much for your support. Then for Inner Beast, we've got Krisha, who we regularly see at TFN. Always brings a nice bit of work. Thanks, Krisha. We've got Graham.
What a legend, Graham.
Absolute legend.
This is Graham.
This is Graham.
The legend that is Graham. Yeah. This is, TF UK guide Graham. But everybody in the UK knows Graham. He's just, he's the best.
Christopher Goodman as well has joined us at the
He's golden, is Graham. Golden Graham.
He is golden Graham, that's true. Then we got Man in Pig, Connie Convoy. I like Connie Convoy.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Nick Warren, Mark Chiarier.
Jason.
Wait, Mark.
I would struggle with that one.
Chiarier.
Where are you seeing this? Like, have we got like a
On the list
thing?
that I sent earlier?
Yeah, it's in a secret list that
one,
only we
sure.
have access to.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, hang on,
Mark,
let me have a look.
give me your name phonetically, and I will do my best. But Mark Chiarier is what I'm going to go with there. I apologize if that is poorly said. Then, Sixo's Butlers. We got quite a raft of these as well. Joe Buccelli, William Scott, Till All Are One. I see what you did there. Daniel Procco, Matt Dennett, Jamie Price, Gray's Counterattack, Zachary Olsen, Eric, Big Fat Dynamo, Siege Maximo, Jacer528, Bullfrog Lover 64, Jazzy Drifter 2, Jack Anderson, and Mandovark. I knew you were going to stop.
Bulldog Lover. I love it.
I love the way you just attempted to breeze past that
I
one.
did.
Like,
Totally. I was like, oh no, he's going to lose it. That was it.
there we go. Yeah,
We
yeah.
made
I like
it.
the other one as well. Was it Mandovark? I saw that earlier.
Mandovark,
Because I
yeah,
thought
Mandovark.
I thought of Mandark. Do you remember Dexter's Lab?
Yeah, totally. That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of names that are familiar there from our
DD.
Discord as well. It's really
Yeah,
good.
some great names. I didn't know if Gray's Counterattack might be like a sequel to Gray's Anatomy or something. But...
They fight back against the body.
Maybe. Who knows?
They're antibodies, Grey's antibodies.
No, some great names. Welcome to everybody that's signed up to our Patreon. I mean, we do say this periodically, and it bears repeating that it's fair to say this podcast would not be what it is without our Patreon.
Thank you so much, guys.
We absolutely live off the support that you guys give us, and we truly appreciate it, honestly. So if you do listen to the show already and you've consumed a lot of our back catalogue of free episodes, but you know, they're out there, our public episodes, do consider signing up at any tier. Even if it's just the £1 tier, it makes such a difference to us, honestly.
Yeah,
we do
thank you.
try and
It really does.
make it worth your while. And it's fair to say that another perk, of course, of the Patreon is that they can ask us questions as well, isn't it? If you get to certain tiers, you know, man in pig and above. Actually, no, it's all tiers, isn't it? We've
It's all
extended
tiers
it all
now.
tiers. It's
Yeah,
all
we just
tiers.
open
What
it up
am I
to
on about?
everybody because
all tiers.
we'd
Tiers
love
for
to
fears.
fill up. It's
Yeah.
now officially called Pod Questions Jason's Mailbag, and it is full to bursting. So
Is it? Do all the tiers have to pay? Is that the thing that we've got going here?
All the paid tiers, yeah. Yeah.
So this is like you remember that Tory scandal back in the day, Cash for Questions.
Sure, it's exactly like that, yeah.
This is how it works. Yeah, but I've got one question for you both tonight. Well, for all three of us actually. It's from our patron Alexis, who we regularly see at TFN as well.
We do.
Captain
Lovely
Alexis, who's a Sixo's butler on our Discord. And Alexis asks, my question is, for the three of you, which Transformers did you want but could never find in the shops?
Swoop.
You know someone at school had one, so it existed, but was impossible to get. Did you say Cup already, Liam? Was that-
Swoop. Not
Yeah,
Cup.
I knew Liam was going to say
Yeah.
Swoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swoop. Swoop was one. I've told the story many, many times, but Swoop is the one where every week for about 2 to 3 years, every shop I would go in, and I remember going into the old co-op in Nottingham. Anyone from Nottingham who went to the old co-op, the toy shop at the beginning, I remember they had all the Dinobots, and I must have been like 3 or 4, but my grandma asked them to go in the back to look for Swoop, because this was before you didn't know that toy didn't exist, because you saw the cartoon and you'd seen it in a catalogue or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
seen a photo of it, so I knew it was a thing that existed. It just wasn't
We weren't allowed
available.
it.
Because I think it was mentioned in a letter somewhere in one of the Marvel comics, but I did not read that. So it's not like now where we so are aware of everything, like the internet where stuff's available or whatever. It's different times. You just assumed it was available, these toys,
Yeah,
and
totally.
they just didn't have it in stock, or you just didn't see it.
It was the fact that the other 4 Dinobots were available, but that was the one we were missing.
Yeah,
You know?
And that
very
was the
much
best
so.
one. It was the one I always wanted,
Yeah.
because I always liked the flying things.
Yep, totally. Sixo, what about you?
I think mine was Soundwave, actually. I got a Soundwave later on, and I've mentioned this on the pod before as well, but it's my
From your
late uncle
granddad?
that... It was my late uncle, yeah, that took me to a toy fair, the NEC toy fair, and that's where I got one for the first time. And it was just one of those like legendary like, what is this? This is incredible. Because as a kid, I just never saw it. I didn't know anybody that had it. I never played with it, never handled it. Seen pictures of it and like in catalogs and stuff, and was just like, it just looked like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So actually owning it, and I still have that. It's up there. That same copy that I bought back at that mid-90s toy fair. So yeah, that was definitely my one as a kid.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like that. It's mine was Shockwave because a friend of mine had Astro Magnum.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, and it was when I was in Stirling, actually, before I left. And I remember just seeing it, but I knew it wasn't a Transformer, this toy. And I'm thinking about that point when I'd seen it, that Shockwave wasn't in the comic or anything, but he had an Astro Magnum. And it's because his dad had gone away to Japan and brought him back a toy. And I'd seen this toy. But then I saw Shockwave and I thought they were the same thing for years and years and years until I realized that Shockwave was like a purple version. Then I found out the history of the toy and all that kind of stuff. But I do remember, same as you're saying, Liam, that what people were getting over the pond, it was like the Jetfire or Shockwave were the two really that I was kind of aware of. And going back to Alexa's question, there were kids later on as I got older when they went away to America, they'd come back with one of those two toys and bring it to school.
Jetfire was available here, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, I had Jetfire as a kid, but I swapped it with a kid at school who didn't want Transformers. That was a great toy.
You swapped? What did you swap it for?
I can't remember. It was nothing good. It was just crap. It's one of those, when people have gone off these things and they don't want them, it's just a birthday present they got, and they were very quick. They came to net school like the next day and they were like, "Oh yeah, I don't want this. They want to trade." And I was like, "What do you want?"
I was always amazed by that.
Step right up. But so Jetfire was here. But yeah, Shockwave. I remember seeing the grey one in Tandy. Do you remember the old electronics retailer?
Totally. That's right.
Tandy. And being like, my brain couldn't reconcile it because at that age, like, even knockoffs and stuff were still quite new. And so there was a kind of a knowing that it looked like Shockwave, but wasn't Shockwave. Yep. And obviously now you know the whole story back to front in different times. And I own a Galactic Man now. But it's as a kid, 40 years for Sixo, less so for me, slightly less. But
shaking my head, honestly.
Yeah, he's done.
But being like, it's man, I can't stress enough. Like, if you are a young person now, maybe this is our old man thing. Like, how different it was not knowing stuff and not being able to just instantly look something up and have access to information like that. Like,
it's true.
It's really crazy. Like,
I sort of miss it in a way.
Yeah, I do as well. That bit, like the kind of looking over the catalogs, and
the mystery,
and seeing these toys and going, "What is that?" Like Blue Streak.
What is that? Yeah,
and all these different variations and all that kind of thing. And now we can just go on and just go blah blah blah, and we got it. And
it's so instantaneous, isn't it? Which is cool, and it's great that it is so transparent and everything is so readily available. But you just lose a little bit of that romance in a weird way. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's that kind of thing. Like the anticipation of toys I think it's gone now because there are so many reveals so fast. It's like you see it. The anticipation is for the reveal, and then once it's out, it's like I can't wait to get that. And then by the time it's come out, you've already thinking of something else. Yeah, and then whereas like with kids, it was like the anticipation was seeing it in a shop because that was usually the first time you saw it or in an advert. You didn't have the access to look at it. It's just a completely different thing. Like the way knowledge is so matter of fact now as well. Like the way like we talk about the history of these toys that didn't come out here, whereas then it was like 10, 15 years before you knew they didn't come out here. It's just like everyone's like just dropping the knowledge, like, oh yeah, well this is just like a standard thing. We all knew this. It's like, no, at the time we didn't know this. For decades. Exactly. They really didn't.
Yeah. We're just like, why can I not get Swoop? Exactly. Yeah. It's a good question. Thanks, Alexis. Nice one. That's it for night. Just one tonight, guys. Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been great fun. So thank you very much to Captain Alexis and indeed, again, all our patrons. We truly appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to hit us up and talk about memorable comic book panels, please do. We're on all the socials, aren't we, Liam?
Yeah, we are at Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky. Are we still on TikTok? Is this still a thing?
Yeah, we're still on TikTok.
I don't go on TikTok, so
I don't go on TikTok.
Yeah, it's just me on TikTok.
Oh, it's for the vibe.
Okay,
Just that's it.
Jason.
That's just me on TikTok. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come join me.
Sixo, you are everywhere as well. You're quite omnipresent.
I'm on a lot of things. Yeah, go and give me a follow on YouTube if you want.
That's going very well. You seem to be doing. I see your numbers are quite high because it pops up in my subscriber feed all the time when I turn on my
All
channel
right,
on
cool.
YouTube.
That's
pops
good to
up.
know.
Very well done.
Thank you very
I'll
much.
Shoot you a little like. Sometimes a dislike just to mess with your
Is that
algorithm.
you?
Yeah.
Are you
No.
the perennial disliker?
No, I would never do that. I do that to other people.
I got a comment the other day which I was laughing about on one of my videos. I don't know which video. I can't even remember. I don't always see all the comments because it's hard to keep up with it all, and I haven't got time in the day. But the one comment that really made me laugh, it just popped up, was someone put, it's something like, "It's a shame that I had to watch this video to dislike it because I've contributed to the view count." Okay, sure.
Okay.
I mean,
Why do they have
Thanks.
to comment though? Like
big
that?
hater
Brilliant.
energy. I don't
That's
know.
really
No.
funny. Oh
Yeah.
dear, bless.
It was funny. I laughed. You got to laugh.
That's true. Liam, where are you on socials?
I'm Toybot Soapbox. Anywhere there is an app.
Yes, not heard that in a while. Love it. Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Great stuff. All right. Well, yeah, hit us up. Let us know. And of course, otherwise, we will catch you for the next episode. What else can you say? I suppose I could mention the Megatron teeth.
The what teeth?
Ah! Why are you doing this? Why have you chosen
So
violence?
I don't
today?
know.
I just chosen violence.
Purely
Oh
by
my
accident.
goodness. That's too funny.
Megatron eating a G.I. Joe.
Oh, it's so horrible. It's so horrible.